Hello, this is Mrs. Mackey, and today we're going to write expressions. Our essential question, how do we translate words into diagrams and expressions? Diagram is another word for talking about a model or a picture of the word problem. We're going to do a lot of pictures of the word problems because it does help many students understand what's going on. Okay. Here's three very important vocabulary words. I hope that they are review from last year, but just in case, these will need to be into your notebook. Coefficient is the number in front of the variable. The variable is the letter. The constant is called a constant because it doesn't change. The variable can have its number change. I could do the problem once with x equals 1, then when x equals 2, when x equals 3, when x equals 4. But my constant, I will always be subtracting 5 every time I do this problem. Now, in another problem, it could be adding 32 or 9.87. Okay, now, anytime you have things connected together like this, we call this a term. And this is also a term. Would help if I could spell. This is also a term. Okay, so we've got two separate terms here. Please make sure these are in your vocabulary notes. Okay, our first example. Now, I have two problems here. We're going to do a diagram, the picture or model, and then the expression, how it looks translated to algebra. Our problems today are kind of nice because they will tell us what letter to use. But for some students, that becomes very confusing. All that means is when we see a single letter in a word problem, unless it's like I, is just telling us, use this letter for your variable. So it's kind of a clue word for the variable. So in our first problem, I'm going to call this one A. Oh, I need to switch my pen. Okay, so I have my A. And we'll go ahead and call this one B. So in the first one, a temperature of T degrees increased by 5 degrees. So I think what I'm going to do for right now is just ignore the variable. That's one reason it's kind of highlighted and hard to read. So a temperature of degrees increased by 5 degrees. So I have some temperature. And in this problem, I am told it's a T. I don't know what it is. It's some mystery. And then it says, well, we're going to add 5 degrees to that. And the way that I know it says add is the word increased. So when I change this to an expression, it's T increased by 5 degrees. So a temperature increased by 5 degrees. Now, we're not going to know what a final answer is because there's no words in here to tell us, to find anything. Our answer is just written exactly the way I have it there, no matter how odd it looks. Okay, so now I have B. 5 cats fewer than C cats. So 5 cats fewer than, oh, yeah, sorry. I don't need 2 thans, do I? Okay, so 5 cats fewer than C cats. So I have some amount of cats here. I have a total amount of cats. But I want the number that's 5 less. So I want this amount right in here. Okay? And because I'm given a whole and then part being removed, fewer tells me it's less, I'm going to start out with my C. And I have my 5. Now there's a word here that I call a trigger word. This trigger word is really important. Whenever you see the word than, that trigger word means to switch the order. Okay? So in my sentence it says 5 fewer C. But the word than means I have to change it around, C minus 5, which is what I have in my expression. Okay. I know this is going to be trouble for some of you, but yes, you must write exactly what I have here. You don't have to highlight, but I am expecting you to write the words. I'm expecting you to box what I boxed, although I think I'm going to switch my box on this problem. If you already have your box written, don't worry about it, but I should have boxed fewer. But then around then, I normally draw arrows showing switch order. Okay. Next one. 2 problems for you to do. And I know at the top it says practice 1, but it's really practice 1 and practice 2. And you can just continue these down your diagram. You don't need, or your chart. You don't need to make a second chart, but whatever is going to fit on yours. So problem 1 says a product of 5 and nickels, or a product of 5 and n nickels. So I first am going to kind of ignore the n nickels. Oh, wrong one. I was supposed to be highlighting it. I'm going to ignore my n nickels for right now. So a product. What word in here would be the word that you're going to put a box, because it's the word that tells you what to do? Product or nickels? Okay, hopefully you boxed up product. Okay, and we need to remember what a product is. Okay, and to do this, I have a nickel, I have a nickel, I have a nickel, I have a nickel, I have a nickel. Okay, it's because I have 5 nickels, right? So now what you're going to do is figure out how would you write this? 5 and n for my nickels as a product. Write it. Okay, you could write 5n, that's the best way. You could have a dot here in the middle. You could have the x, but I want you to kind of stop using x's when we're using variables, because I don't know if x is a variable or if x means multiply. It is not wrong if you write it this way, but the coefficient belongs in front as far as standard term. So this is the best answer. Number 2, swimming m meters per minute for 3 minutes. Okay. So the swimming isn't one of the words that's an operation word, but I have per minute and I have minutes. Meters, that's a measurement. So which word would be the one that I'm going to box? Hopefully you did per, because it doesn't make sense to box swimming, meters, minutes, or minute. If you did per minute, that would be fine too. Okay? And what does per or per minute mean? What operation are we going to do? Okay, so I've got this person swimming. There's first minute, second minute, third minute. Kind of looks like it might be an addition problem, but when we're talking per minute, it is a multiplication problem. So write this now as a multiplication problem. Remember, coefficient in front, and then your variable. There you go. Okay, when we change words into phrases, phrases into symbols, it's like we're doing it from another language. So you're going to read the word and translate in order, going like you would any other language. There are extra words that we don't have to translate, though, such as the words swimming, things like that. We really must know the vocabulary for the symbols. So what word means which symbol in math? And we're going to go over that in class. I have a handout that you'll put into your iBooks. And we go in order unless we have the word than. I call than a signal word because it's going to signal to us to switch the order. TTFN.